But I got more soul than that old bloodhound. I'm feeling down and skipping town. And I got some Joe at that old diner, yeah. And I'm on my way to marry her. It's not a girl, but the road you see. That's the only place that's been home to me. And I'm spitting seeds down the road. I'm on my way to I don't know. Less like everyone I see, lacking self-identity. Confidence is all I need. 'Cause mountain air is thin and light. It helps a man to sleep at night. But I won't be here for too long. I'm traveling from Pine to Cause I found peace in the evergreen. Yeah, and I found love out by the sea. But I found myself in that road. And I lost hope a long time ago.
Alright, welcome to Audio Carnage Podcast. I am here with Dylan Tarver and The Altitude. How's it going, buddy? How's your day been?
It's been pretty good working with you, with Carson there.
Well, yeah, long day, lots of students. So, was today one of the days where it was strenuous or was it an easy day?
All the days right now are pretty the same because it's Monday through Thursday, so it's all like 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., so it's all the same days. So it just feels repetitive, really.
Alright, fair enough. So, okay, let's jump right into this. What was the first band name you were ever in? Like, what was the first band?
Okay, wow. The first band I was ever in was when I was, I think 14 or 15 years old. I was a freshman in high school, and I'd learned to play guitar a little bit and wanted to start a band. And it was it was the first day of high school. It was the first day of high school.
What was the name?
The name of the band was A Shout for the Fallen.
A Shot for the Fallen?
A Shout for the Fallen.
A Shout for the Fallen. Okay.
Yeah. And it was like I don't know, like Asking Alexandria or Alisana were some of our main influences. Like a metal band. You know those bands?
Oh, Asking, yeah.
Yeah, those were like our main influences.
I don't know, understandable. What year was that?
Oh man, that was probably, I was a freshman, so I was 14. It's probably like 2006.
Okay, so what was your first job? Like job outside of like doing anything music related? What was your first what was your earliest form of income?
First form of income was working for a catering company.
What kind of catering?
Out of Dallas. It was just like Thanksgiving. It was a seasonal job. It was for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I was like 16 because my birthday's in August.
Okay.
So I turned 16. It was like the first time I could get a job. And I got this seasonal job working for a catering company because it needed extra just waiters, I guess. It was like, because you cater. So it was like super fancy shit, like corporate meetings and like super rich people meeting at museums type stuff, and I'd like wait on them and like fill their wine and whatnot.
Fuck yeah.
And I lost that job after New Year's because it's seasonal.
Dude, I've done waiting jobs, I've done service jobs, I've done so many different things, and like each of them has they all have their own merit, and you learn their skill through each different thing.
Yeah.
All right, so what would you say is your rough estimate 5 biggest influence? Like what would you say if doesn't have to be 5, you can list it can, but what would you say are some of the big artists that kind of influences you?
I'd say first artist that really helped me identify and really brought me into songwriting was Bright Eyes, which is Conor Oberst.
Yeah, you showed me the interview and video song earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that.
So that's definitely one, and that was because I had a lot of favorite bands before that, but that was the first band that made me want to start writing my own music.
What was the first instrument you played?
First instrument I played was guitar, for sure. I remember I got a guitar Easter when I was
acoustic electric.
It was an electric guitar. My first guitar was actually a Flying V.
Who gave it to
A
you?
Jackson Flying V, Santa Claus.
Ooh, oh man, Santa Claus has some fucking days.
Yeah.
Santa Claus has some really good
I learned
taste.
on a Jackson Flying V.
The best part about the V's or any of those weird shaped guitars is they force you to play classical style.
Exactly.
So you have to be.
I had to sit there like this, and I felt like I really related to Slash when I first started playing because he always soloed like that.
Oh yeah.
And so I felt like.
And there's many reasons why it's so good. That's part of the reason I enjoy a V or any of the shapes. I have a really good story about my Dean ML series, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
All right, so what has been your favorite venue outside of Denton to play?
Outside of Denton, ooh, that's national.
I know you have a lot. You have a lot of choices.
Yeah. It's a lot of different memories to kind of rush through. Let me think. I can come up with something. I mean, so there's like, I gotta ask, is it like favorite venue because
Doesn't have-
the way
you
the
can-
venue
you-
was, or because of the audience? Because that's a very different thing.
Not really looking for a specific answer. You can list off you can go like top 5 of your favorite
Yeah,
shows you've ever done or spot. Like it's really just what
Definitely favorite venues are like, my favorite real venue was definitely, what was it, Paper Tiger, I think in Austin. And it was this huge venue it was definitely the biggest venue I played, which is why I think it's my favorite. It's like, in my head, is like the best accomplishment, biggest venue I played. It was like this huge venue, and they had like vendors. There's like when CBD first became legal, they had different vendors there for that. And
What year was this?
that was over the summer, this past summer.
Oh, so 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
2019. And we played in the smaller room of the venue, but it was still pretty big. And there was another show going on right next, like in the bigger room of the venue, so that's why I think it felt so big. But it was a really sick place to play. I mean, and other than that, my favorite place to play, I think, would probably be the Lighthouse, because they always get such a big crowd.
Lighthouse / Jago House.
Yeah.
That place is a Denton staple. Like, there's a lot of those. All right, so what's your favorite Denton venue of all the house venues? Can't include yours, and that's it. Like, come on.
I'd probably say Lighthouse.
Okay.
because-
Excluding that, since that was a prior answer.
Yeah, I want to say why that first, because that was the only house venue, to my knowledge. I'm sure there might be some others that I don't know about. Maybe Space Station. I'm not sure, but that's the only house venue that's been longer than Fannin.
That is
It's
true.
not still currently active.
What about the Shed?
Oh, that's a good point. The Shed has been around a long ass time.
Yeah.
But they stopped doing like electric shows. They do them every now and again.
Yeah, they still do them, but
They still
like
do 'em,
they
it's not-
it's
yeah,
sporadic.
Shed's been
Like,
around.
yeah, and there's I want to say there's a few other that I've been to that still do them, but the Shed's definitely been around for a while.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
like my home. Yeah, I fucking.
All right, so
Place.
favorite local band can't be anybody present accounted for, obviously. Like and also let's not go direct influences. Shout outs to all of our boys in gorgeous hair and all. Like can't be any projects we're directly affiliated. Y'all all know who y'all are. But like, what's your favorite band that you're not heavily affiliated with that you've just like seen, or minor
A
affiliation?
local band, right?
Yeah. One that comes to mind is I really like fucking Goodwill. Even though I know you're affiliated with him, he falls under the kind of context. I was just giving you a little bit.
I would probably have to say Allegheny Drive, just
Yeah.
because like
They will be on this one.
I need them to have more recorded music, but they're like my favorite band to see live, for sure.
Hell yeah. All right. So, what would you say your top 3 movies that you have? Like, what would you say are your favorite 3 movies? Like, just like doesn't have to be of all time. Like, this is a tentative question.
Yeah.
All these questions you could chime in and be like, oh no, I got a better answer at any point in time. Like,
So I think that my favorite movies would definitely be defined by, my favorite director, Tim Burton. So
Okay.
pretty much anything he did, I'll come up with first. So, and then next after that would probably be like Forrest Gump. And I know Big Fish is like a Tim Burton film, but it's like one of definitely the most influential.
so is Big Fish your number 1 Tim Burton film?
Yeah. For like identification.
If you were to say Tim Burton list,
The reason why is because it goes on like a narrative, a lifelong narrative. So it's like I think about it as in a sense of like individuality, like relating to myself a lot. But it depends on like the different moods. Like if it's like fall, definitely be Nightmare Before Christmas, or if it's like I don't know, if I'm feeling creepy, it's probably Sweeney Todd. You know, if I'm, it depends on my mood. There's a lot of different.
I love Sweeney Todd. I want to see that in actual like a theater.
Yeah.
I enjoy like any artistic expression. So like theater's awesome, and I know that I actually think it either is coming or has already been through the theater right near the square. What am I thinking of?
Oh yeah, the campus theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been. They've done Sweeney Todd, and then before they did Big Fish.
Damn.
They do a Tim Burton film every fall.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, cause
I mean, at least since
I've been in Denton for a while, and I've never went and saw one of those. But I've intended to. But I mean, shit, I just need to do more.
Yeah, I've never been either. Actually, I have been, but not to a Tim Burton film. I've been there to see. I've been there to see a couple shows, but never a Tim Burton one. And then that's how I like got involved. I like tried to get involved, but then got too busy with school. But now that I'm out of school, that might be a good place to start getting my acting chops up.
Also, Nosebleeders to be released when the fuck it's released.
Late
Spring.
Yes.
All right, so let's get picky on your own music. What would you say is your favorite song that you have released ever? Like, what's your favorite of your own material?
My favorite song, like lyrically, my favorite song is probably still Baldum Shinkite.
Which one?
Baldum Shinkite, which is it's like the first song I wrote.
What
when
are
I was living in Tahoe?
Have I heard it?
Yeah, I played it live. I play it live a lot, but I don't know.
What's some of the lyrics
in it with you? It's like, and I wake up feeling lost, gotta drive.
Okay, yeah, no, I know the song you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I definitely have heard it.
Yeah, that one's like lyrically, because it's the first song that I wrote that I was like tried to actually write, and I still like the lyrics for it. Because it's like most songs you write the lyrics for, and then later you're like, that's cheesy, or I don't relate to it anymore. But that song was like, it stays pretty consistent.
Alright.
Yeah.
No, that's definite.
Favorite song to play though is definitely Monte County.
Man, I consistently find myself singing along to your songs at shows, and I know you see it. All right, so favorite cheap liquor.
Oh yeah, favorite cheap liquor. KD's too gross, but Evan Williams is a good step up from there. It's only like $1 more than KD, but it definitely significantly tastes better.
Yeah, KD is harsh but gets the job done.
Yeah, but it's like real harsh, and I feel like Evan Williams it's only $1 more, but I feel like it's like it should be like maybe $6 or $7 more.
You know, EW is a good, reliable. All right, so what was the best concert you've ever been to, like, of your life? Like, what's been the most like heavy moment for you at a concert?
Heavy moment. So there's two different things. The best moment is one thing. Heaviest moment's a different thing.
All right, go ahead.
Heaviest moment was when I saw La Dispute at the Old Doors. I actually don't like that venue that much, and they shut down, so it's cool. But Old Doors, and that was actually the only show that I ever liked, and it was La Dispute, and it was cool because I hate the venue because it's like a pay-to-play venue, and you only see like shitty high school local bands there, and then they had La Dispute there, and it was hilarious, and I was like going there like where I played in high school to see like one of my favorite bands, La Dispute, and he was like yelling, and I knew every word of La Dispute, and it's intense music, so it's like so fun to just sing along to that with like a mass of people, and it's heavy ass music too, just like thrash around and like go in the crowd and get on stage and jump off. But I don't know, but the most meaningful show is probably seeing Mayday Parade in middle school. I was an emo kid and I love fucking Mayday Parade and I knew all their words. So like getting to sing that in the crowd like brought me to tears at a couple points. So yeah.
So was that both heavy and
Mayday Parade's like really soft,
okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so when did you decide to create like this iteration of the altitude? When would you say this version of what you have been currently doing started coming around?
Man, everything changes. The version's literally changing as we speak. I'm going to Austin to play a show with Michael from Posibel.
Well, every time I see the altitude, it has a different member. Which
Yeah.
realistically, the way I treat it is you are the altitude. Whoever's playing with you is just like how the vibe's gonna be this time. But I mean, when did you like create this own? Like, what year would you say
When did
is
the
the
altitude
year
originate?
that you started with like this variation? Like, you started writing these batch of songs.
Oh, I see.
Like,
So basically, the altitude, like I came up with the band name and made all the social media pages. 2018, November 1st. You have to have like a release date for that shit now on the internet. You know, you have to like type shit in and be like, oh, our official day of being a band.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to type in the date, November 1st, 2018. So that's the day that the altitude officially started.
What was
But-
the line of that band?
It's just me. It's just my idea to create like my own project.
Fair enough.
It was basically
What were you using to create? Was it just like you, your computer, and some software, or was did you start out with performing?
It's all this shit. I've been in a lot of bands like since the first band we talked about, Shot for the Fallen, when I was like 14. So there's like almost 6 years later or so that I like created the altitude. So it started with just like, and there's still a hell of a lot of a log of just songs I wrote in that period. So it was just lyrics mainly, lyrics and different riffs.
But around 2018 is when you started performing in this,
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I already wrote a bunch of songs. Basically, I
Was it in Denton,
started
or
writing like
was it in
keeping
here in
my
Denton,
songs.
or did you like start in Austin or?
So
in
I
California?
came up with the idea in Lake Tahoe.
So that is our timer. So we are setting up for another song. So we started with.
Palm and Pine.
So anything to say about that song?
Yeah, Palm and Pine is a fucking amazing. That's good segue because we just said I started the altitude from Lake Tahoe. So Palm and Pine is about living in California because I was living next to the palm trees and next to the pine trees. I was writing about
So
traveling.
that was our song number 1. Number 2 is Gals.
Yeah, and then GAL stands for Gay Ass Love Song. Yeah, got in trouble for that. I wrote that in Denton about Camille, who I've been dating for like 4 years.
Taught me how to feel again. Appreciate the breezy winds, my friend. For life, I hope the bed gets warm with you around. The only one to calm me down. Found her, the one for me. Soft-spoken but super smart, kind of girl that knows her art. Dresses in black Sweet, awesome.
Alright, welcome back. So that was
Gals, short for gay ass like song. But
so you said that was wrote for who?
Camille. Yeah.
Ah, I knew that one.
Yeah, Camille is who I've been dating for 4 years. I met her in person when I moved to Louisville from California because we met each other on a dating app.
You told me the story, but what was he called?
Hot or Not.
Ah, yes.
We were pen pals. Like we met on Hot or Not when I was living in California, so we were pen pals for like probably like a year.
Is this the first song you wrote her?
Yeah, it was.
Ah. Honestly, I will say that this is my favorite song that you wrote. Like, you've had this since before I've ever met you. Like, I remember whenever I first got these cameras and we jammed, and you came over to my other house and you ran through it. I was like, oh yeah, this is still.
Thank God.
So, all right. So, what would you say your worst gig you've ever played was? If you don't want to express anything about a specific venue, you don't have to say a name. You can just lay out the details.
So the worst gig I ever played was, performance-wise, was definitely at Backyard on Bell. I think it was the first time my mom ever saw me play. And it was Charlie was there, who was in Fox Love. And basically what happened is just I think it was one of the first gigs I played completely by myself, without a band. And my string broke like on the second song, and the only other guitar was like a guitarist from a metal band, and his guitar was in a different tuning. And I had to like change tunings, and it sounded like shit. It was like this electric guitar and me just singing. It was real bad. It was brutal, but yeah.
Well, okay. What about worst on the other side? What was like the worst experience at a gig?
There's been a few. Worst experience at a gig probably was a place in Fort Worth. I forget what it was called, but it was when I was playing with Bland's. I was playing bass, and they had 3 power strips plugged into one another, and they're like, "Oh, just plug into that," and I plugged into it, and my bass cab blew out, and nobody else had a bass cab, and I couldn't play, and I don't watch my band play without my bass.
Fair? No, that does sound fucking terrible. Shout out, Nick.
Yep.
Pleasers?
No, Plants.
Well, I was saying mix in the pleasers now.
Oh, no, dude, he's moved to Washington.
Well, yeah, I thought that's the band that he's in there.
No. But
yeah, fair enough.
he called me the
no, this is about you.
Wait,
okay.
he called me the other day, and he was like, I'm gonna move back to Denton, and this band in San Antonio is calling themselves Blands. We should, I'm gonna move back to Denton, and we're gonna start Blands back up. And so he's gonna move back here, and he wants to start Blands back up.
Hold on.
Just to compete with this band in San Antonio. Hold on. That's the reason he's sparking the band back up, is to compete with that band that's also called Blands.
Alright, so
in San Antonio.
We're gonna have to start over, buddy. We can't shit on. We can't do that.
That's not shitting, that's just factual things that happen. That's like real things.
I mean, copyrights are copyrights.
Wait, with who?
Fair enough.
Nobody. I'm in Blands.
Oh, that's funny. Alright, so, favorite vacation spot?
Oh, definitely Lake Tahoe. Hopefully not a vacation spot. Hopefully a place that I'll own property one day. That would be awesome.
What for?
Why? And my favorite is because I lived there, and I don't know, I used to go snowboarding there all the time when I was growing up. That's where my dad would always take us to go snowboarding. And when I graduated high school, I moved out there and worked at the ski resort Heavenly for a minute until they fired me for dumbass reasons. More got laid off. And then I got a job at the Hard Rock Cafe and worked there to supply my income through while I lived there. And went back to Denton to get through college faster because out-of-state tuition was expensive. But that's definitely my favorite spot because I love snowboarding and I love the mountains. Lake Tahoe is where I came up with the idea to start the altitude.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
A pie.
Yep, that's why it's called the altitude. And I moved out there by myself and got my roommate on Craigslist. I didn't know anybody. It was like my kind of identification journey, you know.
Trip.
Yeah, definitely the best spot, and it's like my favorite place. It's beautiful. I always feel at home when I'm out there. But yeah, the plan is to live out there eventually.
Alright. So, what's your favorite, like, drunken food, late night food?
Dude, definitely my favorite, like, drunken food is Cane's.
Okay, but that's not late night food. Like, that's...
Okay, well then, like, late night food.
Not
in
Cane's.
Texas-
That
in
did
Texas,
hit the spot.
Yeah, Cane's is always good. But in Texas, we got a lot of good variety. It's like Whataburger and Taco Bell.
Ooh,
Waffle
yes.
House is always good, depending on who. If I'm with a lot of people, definitely Waffle House. If it's just me and Camille, we'll probably go to Taco Bell or Whataburger. Taco Bell is always good. When I'm drunk, fills you up.
Alright, what's your favorite local venue?
House venue or just regular venue?
Yes and yes, and why?
I think my favorite local venue is, I don't know, probably J&J's, just because they've been around the longest. They're reliable, and they'll always host new bands. It's like a Denton staple.
Okay, now house venue. Oh wait, you already answered that one. Lighthouse.
Yeah, Lighthouse.
Okay, so you already answered favorite local band, Allegheny, right?
Yeah, just see.
Okay. So what's been your favorite group that you've had to work with? Like,
Oh, favorite group I played with?
no, work with. Like, could be performed with, could be
Yeah.
recorded with. Just all in all, what's been your like? Okay, what's been your like star-studded moment? Like, what was like the oh shit moment that you've done some stuff? Like, have you had anybody come through that you're like, this is kind of cool?
Oh, the biggest person that I've had like come through and play at my house, I guess, was definitely Sugar Cane Mountain. They were like the biggest band that played, and there's a lot of people.
that day.
They have a song called 666 that I really like. And me and Camille have been listening to that band a long time before we even knew that they wanted to play at our house or that was an opportunity to get them to play at our house.
Do you have an idea how many shows you had at your house? Houses? Like, between
I
Van
really
and
do
Holding
not.
Self?
No, I have no idea.
Have you ever tried to calculate it?
Yeah.
Like, is your
It's always
calendar?
been
like-
on my agenda of shit to do that I've never done to eventually figure out how many shows I've had at the house. I don't think I could ever figure it out. I haven't kept track of like every single show. A lot of shows will be like a couple days before, and I'll be like, yeah, and I'll just like be there. Okay.
Yeah, different fucking lifestyle. So, what variations of the altitude have existed? What band members have been in and out of the altitude?
Oh man. So. Man, I'm pretty sure it started with just me, but like the first people that
That's what I'm saying. You and who else has been part of the altitude at some
first
point?
person I played with, I think, was Aiden.
Okay.
It was just me and him on drums. I mean,
Fucking
me on
Aiden
guitar,
Old Metal,
drums.
fucking.
Yeah, but like definitely the best drummer that I've met. I mean, I've known him the longest, too. Probably, like, out of the current musicians that I'm jamming with right now.
So you, Aiden.
Me and Aiden.
Who else?
And after that, I met, from being in Foxlove, I met Patrick and Jerry got on bass, and Jerry's been kind of, definitely, he's been my most consistent bassist. Before that, I had Camille on bass, and I've also had Camille on bass after that as well. And Patrick played drums with me for in and out for a while, and Doug played drums with me for a few shows, and now he's gonna play with me for a few shows coming up. And I'm gonna have Michael on bass from Posiville. So, yeah, Michael, Camille, and Jerry played bass. Patrick, Doug.
So I counted 7 total members.
Andrews
throughout.
played cajon one time for me at a show in Kansas.
I mean, yeah.
That counts. It was in Kansas. Yeah. A lot, just whoever was there.
Alright, so what's been your favorite show that you've had at one of your houses? What's been like the best lineup you've ever been like, oh man, this is cool? Or it could have been the crowd or whatever, but do you have a specific one that like...
For me personally, my favorite act I had was King Strange. It's probably like because I've loved his music for a while. I know like, I'm pretty sure I know everything he's released, and he's like a folk punk musician, just like ragtime punk music, and it's really cool. And he played at my house, and it was a good folk punk show. I loved seeing him play in my own house, and like getting to know him and hanging out with him.
There's so many fucking like benefits. Alright, so what's the worst aspect of running a house venue?
Oh man, the worst aspect is probably how many times I have to say no to people. Because there's so many people that hit me up all the time. I usually spend 2 to 3 hours when I wake up answering emails and messages about shows that, you know, not just for Fannin, but for the Altitude and other projects I'm involved with. But just between all the different projects, it's like the majority of the opportunities and the majority of the messages I get, I have to decline because of having shows all the time.
Yeah, scheduling.
So it sucks to have like my homies that need a show that are like dependent on like, oh man, Dylan has, you know, Fannin House, we can just go play there. And it's like, man.
Well, I mean,
like you can't.
As I've always said, yes, you can. It's just a matter of like, if you're gonna have to ask for a show, you just gotta be willing to be like book far in advance.
Yeah,
like it's like
that's what I mean.
Yeah, October we're good.
Yeah, most people don't do that though, and it's like it sucks when it's like a really good show, you know what I mean, and they just like had something drop, and they like a show that you love all the bands or all your homies and you love their music and it's like a really good lineup, you know, a lot of people will be there, but you already booked something or you can't, and it's like a show, like a venue dropped and you'd be saving, like you'd make everyone so happy, you'd be like saving the day and making the show happen, but you can't do it because you already have like another show that like is booked and you can't add on to it. And it's like I have to say no more than I have to say yes, that I get to say yes.
Alright. So, what are your hobbies outside of music?
Outside of music, I really like to spend time with my girlfriend and with my roommates, and go hiking and fishing, and with my friends.
Where do you like to go hiking?
We go hiking, we go into Heritage Creek recently, and then we went to Wembley Field the other day. Went fishing out there with Andrew and Camille and Katie, and go biking at Heritage Creek over, it's really not far from here. It's like probably just like 5 minutes, a little bit east of here. and they have a really good fishing spot there too. And then when it's not so cold and wet, I'll go skating at the Denton skate park. And then other than that,
How
just
long
go
have
to
you been
shows.
skating?
How long I've been skating? I've been skating. Oh man, I mean, I don't really. It's not really a consistent hobby. Like I'll only skate. I don't know. It goes on and off a lot. So like I've been skating ever
When did
since
you
I
start?
was
Like what was the earliest you started skating?
5, probably.
Did you ever have any major injuries from
A
it?
lot. I've broken 12 bones.
What was the worst bone you broke?
Worst bone I broke was the first one.
What's one?
It was when I got in soccer in a scrimmage. My coach, I was trying to go for a goal, and my coach defended the goal, and he kicked me in the shin, and my shin broke.
Like
And I was down on the ground crying as like I don't know, I was probably 6 or 7 years old, crying with my shin like broken for the first time. And
that's
the
a gnarly
scrimmage got
bone to be
canceled.
broken to.
And then this homie coach that just hit me, like walks up limping, because he's hurt too. And he looks over at me, he's like, I got up, bitch, I'm walking. And it's like, I'm 7 years old and he just broke my leg, dude. And he was like,
Ah.
jeez. He was like, and then my parents took me to the
That is
hospital.
brutal. Alright, so what was
And
the
I was like,
second?
why didn't we fucking sue this guy?
So wait, how many bones have you broken?
12.
So what was the next worst?
The next worst. The next worst was when I was snowboarding at Lake Tahoe, and I was going on this ramp, and I was like trying my first 360, and I went around, but caught my toe edge. I slammed and I broke my arm, and then I was alone, by myself. So I broke my arm on the mountain by myself at like 12, I think. And so I got up and I snowboarded down the mountain and got to the gondola that took me back down the mountain. I called my dad on the phone. It's like, hey, I broke my arm. And I'm in like a gondola full of random strangers that are having their own conversations. And I'm like, I broke my arm. And everyone just drops silent and starts staring at me. And I have to like call my phone, and everyone's looking at me, and I'm like holding my arm like in pain. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way down to the motel. I'll be there soon, and like we gotta go to the hospital. It felt so weird to just have everyone look at me. I'm just like, this guy.
That does sound miserable. Alright. And now we are finally on, what is the last song? We have a cover.
St. James Infirmary, dude. Yeah, this is one of my favorite songs. It's a cover of it's a jazz standard that Louis Armstrong made famous, and the White Stripes did. Cab Calloway made famous as well.
Now Dylan Tarver has too. Welcome to the altitude, St. James Infirmary. Alright, thank you.
corner by the square. They were serving drinks as usual, and the usual crowd is there. like Kennedy. His eyes were bloodshot red. He turned to the folks around him. And these are the very words we heard him say. Infirmary to see my baby there. Now she's stretched out on that long white table, so sweet, so cold and fair. Oh, please let her go, let her go. God bless her wherever she may be. You can search that whole wide world over, but you're never gonna find another sweet man like me. Put that $20 gold piece on my watch chain, so when I go, the boys will know that I died standing pat. Shooting ball bearers, I want that chorus girl to sing me a song. So put that jazz band riding on the back of my hearse, raise sweet hell as we go along. gonna find another sweetheart like me. Well, folks, now that you've heard my story, I'll take another shot of that sweet booze. And if anyone tries to ask you, tell them I got that St. James Infirmary blues. I got that St. James I got that St. James Infirmary blues. Sweet. That was fucking good.
Alright, so that was St. James Infirmary.
Yeah.
So, what was the first song that so who put on that song, or who played that song first?
Oof.
Or who played?
Question.
Who was the first person who did the rendition of that song that you heard?
So the first time I heard it was the White Stripes, but the first time I fell in love with it was Louis Armstrong. The first time I wanted to play it was Cab Calloway. So those three artists really introduced me to the song.
So, at what point did you decide to, like, any thoughts on when you decided to do a cover of it? Like, was that a recent thing, like 2019,
No,
or have you been playing that for a while?
I've always loved the song. I learned it a long time ago. I learned different variations of it.
Like, was it a song you learned early on in your, like, playing and singing career?
Yeah, definitely. Just because I love the lyrics and the melody. I feel like it's just always in my head.
When did you, like, get affluent in the looper pedal?
So I remember I used to stay at my buddy Ryan's house, who was in one of my first high school bands. Like after I'd gotten kicked out in high school, and I lived there for like probably a year or so. And he was my bandmate, and he had the Boss 30 looper pedal. And I remember like I was like super depressed at the time, and I'd just like sleep all day. And I just always remember like him playing with the loop pedal, and he would loop some chords and just practice scales and just jam over it. And it was like, I remember listening to it all the time, and I got to play with it. And then I wrote a lot of different shit like on his rig, playing with that looper pedal, because I just stayed home all day. And after, I don't know, probably just a year of like just staying home all day, like I'm either sleeping or I'm like playing guitar, and then with that looper pedal, and eventually I got my own, and then I was like, I need like separate tracks. I got the Boss 300, I think, I forgot the name.
Is that the one you have now?
Yeah, and it has like two separate tracks.
Yeah. I know which one that is the only one we've had that has the decent kick drum on the 808.
Yeah, there's a decent kick, and I use those beats now. Though I also found out recently that you can
import samples. Yeah, we were talking about that privately.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I might like figure out how to do that.
So, alright, what is your favorite place to eat that's higher end? You have, like, what's your favorite, like, date restaurant, like?
I don't much go down for the fancy shit, but if I had to
What's the most
pick, I mean, probably hooligans. Because me and Camille both love seafood and we both love shellfish. And
I didn't know
speaking
that.
of, Mardi Gras is freaking next Tuesday. Crawfish season is coming around. So we gotta get that crawfish.
Alright,
Mardi Gras is Tuesday, dude.
Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
It is.
We gotta do something.
I mean, I'm down. Like,
Yeah, we have a show on Wednesday too. Jerry's playing with some bands. And Bad Dad Jokes and Bloomers is playing. And then Dino Kales, it's wearing band.
good Wednesday show.
If I could find crawfish, I could make it up. You know,
Like
Fat Tuesday show. Even though
last
it's
year was
Fat
such
Wednesday.
a
Ash Fat Wednesday.
last year was such a lucky thing.
Yeah,
Like JoJo pulling up with that was like just because of him being in the right town at the right time.
that was the best, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, so much crawfish.
Yeah.
Oh, as soon as he came home, he was like, "We can put it in the freezer." I was like, "JoJo, you can't freeze crawfish and it'll be good the next day."
Alive.
Now, fortunately, I was like, "Dylan has a show." Oh yeah.
That was perfect. That was probably one of my favorite shows too. There's so many good shows like that. But that was definitely one of the best thing that ever happened during the show.
Fuckfest is always a one that shells out very well. Granted, that's over 3 locations. Has it always been 3 locations, or was it originally at Fannin?
Well, yes,
Fuckfest.
first it was, the first year we did it was 2 locations. It was just my house and the historic house in Denton. And then the historic house in Denton got shut down, and Anwar played. Shout out to Anwar. And that got shut down and we moved it to our house. And then we got to continue playing there. So it was really all 3 days at our house. It was 2 days.
When did it
2
switch
shows.
to the 3 shows?
The
three
next year.
venues?
Yeah, the next year we had.
Was
like,
that last year or the year before?
the year before? Because this one coming up. In
So the year that you
March
moved
is
to the house that you're at?
Fuckfest 4. Yeah, that was the last Fuckfest we had at that old house, first and last. So yeah, we've had 2 Fuckfests at the new house so far. And this will be the 4th Fuckfest total coming up.
Alright, so do you have any instruments that you're hoping to work and is there anything that you're like have been wanting to learn?
I mean, I've been wanting to learn banjo. I feel like I still don't really know banjo, but I'm learning it right now because I don't own a banjo. I feel like you can't say you play an instrument if you don't have it, right? So I need to get that instrument. Next thing I really want to learn would probably be probably like a brass instrument because that's like the only technique I've never really tried. Is like the brass.
Have you done woodwind?
I played recorder. That's not a woodwind, but I mean I've never
Right.
really.
Well, no, I've played trumpet, but like reed-based instruments and brass instruments, I feel like are 2 completely different.
They're very different. But
Yeah,
I don't.
like-
I've never really listened to music with woodwinds in them. But I listen to a lot of brass right now. So it's just something I really want to learn. I mean, saxophone
said
is the
that
only thing.
anybody in fucking that can play trumpet or trombone or tuba
Yeah, I
has an
definitely
ability to make a little bit of money or at least be involved with active bands that can make money in the area.
And also, it's the main thing is the portability of just like a trumpet or a bugle. I just like to have a bugle and just be like, screaming it all the time. Like go camping, get on a mountaintop. And just play a bugle. That's
Yeah. I have a trumpet and a trombone in the house. Trombone's not actively working. The trumpet's fine. I just don't play it because I haven't had the reason to. I know how to play. I've been playing since I was in like fourth or fifth grade. Actually, maybe, but like just haven't had a reason to break it out. But the you have to buzz, and like the buzzing is just so it's like because then you have like the best thing I ever heard about being in band is you have to learn how to blow, finger, tongue, and bang and buzz. Everybody gets a kick out of that one. But so, all right, what would you say is the next concert that you're excited about? Like, big concert, small concert. Like, what's the one that you're like, well, you're excited about being a show goer?
Oh, without hosting it?
Yeah, just like, just period. Just what's the next thing you're gonna see that you're like excited that you get to see?
I mean, probably the mountains. I don't really have a show that I'm going to see that I'm not.
Fair enough. So everything that you get to see is at your house?
Yeah, or like...
You heard it here first. Dylan Tarver only goes to shows at his house, so...
No! Not at all. No. There's a lot of shows that I go to, but... I haven't like gone to a show, I feel like you're talking about like shows that you buy tickets for.
Have you been, what was the last show you bought tickets for?
Probably Tiger's Jaw. I saw them in Dallas at Club Dada. And that was super cool because I got to meet them too.
How'd you meet them? Was it a like meet and greet, or was it they were just walking around? Or
no, after their set, they were just kind of like there, out in the audience. I mean, everyone was leaving, so like on the floor. Ended up talking to them, and it's super cool to talk to them.
Yeah, I get that.
I love Tiger's Jaw.
So any movies or shows you're excited about coming through? Or coming out? Anything at all?
Anything that I'm excited about. That's a good point. I should get excited about things.
I mean, like, is there any media that you're like that you're excited about? I personally enjoy going to the movie theater or like seeing a show or like I know some of your roommates play video games, but I don't think you do. But like, what's the if you had to watch TV, what's something you would like to watch?
Okay, so like normally when I watch TV, it's when I'm like going home and I'm about to sleep. Normally what I do is I put on adultswim.com and I try to watch whatever I haven't seen. And so that's like
what haven't you seen? What stuff have you seen? What's the list of things that Dylan Tarver watches?
Gosh, usually like I've seen a lot of South Park, definitely. It's definitely like, especially when I first started living on my own, I watched like a bunch of South Park. And then recently, I've really gotten into, what's that guy's name on Adult Swim? That has the bedtime stories. Damn, I forgot his name. You know what I'm talking about. It's cool.
Alright. So, favorite shoe brand?
Favorite shoe brand is used to be like DC's when I was a little kid, but now it's really whatever fits me at the thrift store. And these shoes I got at the thrift store. These are pretty cool shoes.
They are actually. They're pretty nice. So, favorite pack of smokes?
Probably the Smooth Taste Camel Reds that I first got. That's what I smoked in high school, and I really like. They're expensive, and I don't buy packs of cigarettes anymore. So
Okay. What's your favorite like Denton non-music spot? Like, what's your favorite place to go in Denton that doesn't have to do into anything? Like, could be food place, could
Yeah.
like just in
Probably
general.
Cool Beans. Definitely Cool Beans. I go to Cool Beans a lot, especially when I was in college. I gotta go to classes and go to Cool Beans and get like their shot and beer and get some lunch and study and then go back to
Wi-Fi.
class. Yeah. Do all my homework there too. And then there's always people that you know there, so you can like hang out. It's super cool. It still is. Still
Yeah.
go there.
Did you have any teachers that really influenced you in school?
But yeah, I mean, most recently, Dr. Varani was really cool. Kind of taught me a lot about how to get into ethnomusicology as a master's degree, which hopefully will happen. And he's also, and then also, I forgot his name now, but it's, he was the first ethnomusicology teacher I had in the music cultures of the world. He played with Frank Zappa a few times.
Do you remember what year he played with, or what
No,
year he?
man.
Do you remember what year he taught you? What year you
Year he
had
taught
him?
It was my freshman year,
What year was that?
which was 2011, I think. No, that's wrong. It was 2013.
Okay, well that gives a ballpark.
Yeah.
So, what about any people in the area that you feel like you would like to give a shout out to? Like any people like that you feel like just have some hardcore work ethic that like in the like surrounding area, like people I like to shout out, Mason, occasionally Matt Snoddy, occasionally Hagen Hofstetter, like who what any people from the area that you feel like deserves a like look up.
Oh man, yeah.
Anyway, doesn't have no major pressure, but anyway, specific that you can think that really does some good work that like people should look into.
Yeah, and Gorgeous Hair is like my homies. So
They are all-
shout out to Gorgeous Hair.
Gorgeous Hair is all over the place. That's just
Jerry
cute.
and
Curious
Andrew
that we
Addis.
have a little bit. Yeah, Jerry
Junie.
works.
Fucking love Junie. Becca's music is like probably my favorite right now.
Now
Her new
they
album
will
is
be
fucking
on this
killer.
podcast. We will have a nice interview with them, and it will be lots of fun. And their video was good, and they were also one of the first groups that they referred to themselves as the guinea pigs for this podcast, and
Oh, yeah.
so I'm happy that when we get them in there, it'll be. He'll be known what we're doing.
Yeah.
Very spoiled puppy. So we have went through what songs? We have first one, Pine and Palm.
Palm and Pine.
Ah,
Close. Yeah, it's Palm and Pine. It's basically a song about trees.
okay.
And
So
then there's Gals, which is Gay Ass Love Song. It's about Camille.
oh,
And then finally, St. James Infirmary, which is like a song that I always think about. One of my favorite songs.
all right. So who are you?
Who am I? I'm Dylan Tarver. This is an interview for The Altitude.
All right. So where can we find you? What's the easiest way we can find the altitude?
Ooh, the easiest way you can find me is probably Yelp.
Yelp?
Yellow Pages. You probably call the government, something. I don't know. I'm trying not to have
Call
a
your
phone
mom. Oh.
Trying to like not have cellular service. Hopefully that leads to me.
All right. So I mean, if you want to see
How about
your
you don't fucking
series,
find me?
if you want
Just-
to see your material.
Yeah, Spotify. I'll release things on Bandcamp and Spotify.
So the altitude
and
and
Instagram.
Spotify.
I do release things on Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, What's your Facebook like? What do you go through for Facebook?
Facebook depends on how you want, what you want.
Let's say somebody wants to catch your shows.
So for the Altitude, you go to the Altitude's Facebook, which is just the Altitude.
So let's say somebody wants to catch your actual house shows.
The house shows are at Fannin.
On what?
At Party Town City on Facebook. And
Okay.
the event pages are there. We also post like the flyers on Instagram.
So, any specific anything that you would like to shout out before we get out of here?
I want to say thanks to you for having me on this interview.
Well, you will be
This has
back
been
many
super
more
cool.
times. So this will be fun in the future, and this has been fun. But so few other things that we want to shout out to is we got gorgeous hair. Aiden Old Nettle, motherfucker, you know where you're at.
Yeah, I'm gonna see him this weekend.
Nick, however you fucking pronounce your last name, you know where you're at.
Papiano, Papua New Guinea.
Hey, that's not what it said. Yeah, Papa New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea Ace.
Then, that being said, alright, we're out.